You didn't see Brentley, right? Okay. Does Miguel get a headset? I guess I'll get started. Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning. Clap 3 times. Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. My name is Tony Fisher. I'm grateful to be here with you this morning. And just a little just last minute technical things. Grateful to be here this morning. I want to express my gratitude, first of all, to our coming of age youth who are here with us in the sanctuary, and also especially, well, not especially, because you're all special, but those folks who have volunteered this year to help facilitate the program, volunteering their time to spend time with our youth and to sort of encourage them through our sessions together this year. So if I call your name, please stand up. Brad Cornell, Patty Friedberg, Charlie Friedberg, Tom Swears, Kay Wiley Jacob, Camilla Jacob, Andy Wells Bean, and Emily Bajima, who's down in the R wing. Thank you so much for your time this year. Green. And I am especially grateful that Brentley Bisogno Moore arrived, first of all, made it here this morning. It's good to see you. How are you doing? How did you make it through the storm?
Well,
put that right up to your mouth there.
Is it better?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I made it through the storm pretty good. Nothing horrible happened.
No problems?
No.
Okay, all right.
Just wind.
Okay, well, good. That's good, right? We will hopefully have a chance to hear from people this morning as to how they did. But good to see you, and you're here to help with the welcome, so just do it.
All right, well, thank you, Tony, and good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone's faces today, but my name is Brentley Bisogno Moore. I'm one of the youth participating in both OWL and the Coming of Age programs this year. Let me offer a special welcome to anyone who is joining us for the first or second time. We hope you'll join us for coffee and conversation out on the pavilion after the service. And whether it's your first time here or you've been coming here since before I was born, whether you are here in the sanctuary, sitting out on the pavilion, or watching online, we are grateful for your presence. Please take a look at the back of the order of service where you will find both our mission statement and our new vision statement. Both say a lot about who we aspire to be as a community. Now, let's relax and settle ourselves into this time of worship with the prelude.
Great. Thank you.
Usually I don't love starting a musical thing with talking, but a little context can go a long way. The first thing that we're doing today on this service of Big Questions is an old folk tune from the Appalachians called The Devil's Nine Questions. And it comes from a tradition of British Isles folk music where someone asks questions and someone answers them. A bunch of them do deal with the devil asking questions and outsmarting or being tested or something like that. So that is this. And also to say the weaver's Bonnie. Bonnie just means like the weaver's girlfriend or possibly wife. Now you must answer my questions 9. Sing 99 and 90, or you're not God's, you're one of mine. and you are the weaver's Bonnie. What is whiter than the milk? Sing 99 and 90. And what is softer than the silk? And you are the weaver's Bonnie. Snow is whiter than the milk. Sing 99 and 90. And down is softer than the silk. And I am the weaver's Bonnie. What is higher than a tree? Sing 99 and 90. And what is deeper than the sea? And you are the weaver's Bonnie. Heaven is higher than a tree. Sing 99 and 90. And hell is deeper than the sea. And I am the weaver's Bonnie. What is louder than a horn? Sing 99 and 90. And what is sharper than a thorn? And you are the weaver's Bonnie. Thunder is louder than a horn. Sing 99 and 90. And death is sharper than a thorn. And I am the weaver's Bonnie. What's more innocent than a lamb? Sing 99 and 90. And what is meaner than a man? And you are the weaver's Bonnie. A babe's more innocent than a lamb. Sing 99 and 90. And the devil is meaner than a man. And I am the weaver's Bonnie. You have answered my questions 9. Sing 99 and 90. So you are God's, you are none of mine. And you are the weaver's Bonnie.
From our separate joys and struggles, we come here to find the blessings of peace and the gift of restlessness. All are welcome here. We come to follow, to lead, to teach, to learn, and all are welcome here. We come to join in the dance or to catch our breath, to give generously or to receive gratefully, and all are welcome here. We come feeling steady and composed, or sometimes completely lost. And there are times we come not knowing exactly how we feel, but we are welcome here. This community has a place for us. Here we matter however we have come, and we are loved. All are welcome here. Let's join together in our chalice lighting words on the screen or on your order of service. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission to be truly, to grow in mind and spirit, and to widen the circle of peace, justice, and love. And let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 1000, in the Teal hymnal, Morning Has Come.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of
Please be seated. Thank you. Grateful for your presence this morning. I know each of us has a story to tell, whether it's a big story or a little story about the storm this past week. We figure if anybody's watching on the screen, they've got electricity and the internet, which from the stories that I heard coming in, some folks here do not necessarily have. But I'm grateful for your presence, grateful for the work of this community and helping one another through the storm. I know people offered homes and rooms and so forth, so thank you for that. I will save much of what I want to say about the storm for joys and sorrows, but we certainly keep in mind our fellow brothers, sisters north of us who bore the brunt of this storm. This Sunday is the first of a monthly gatherings where our coming-of-age youth join us in the service to hear and participate on subjects that they themselves have helped choose. And so it's a wonderful opportunity for them to be part of this community, feel a part of the community. The Unitarian Universalist Coming of Age program was originally developed as our response, Unitarian Universalist response, to the value that we see and saw in rites of passage that existed in other cultures and other traditions. The goal of our Coming of Age program is to help our youth find their own personal center of gravity, to begin to clarify their own beliefs and values in order to understand Unitarian Universalism a little bit better, and to see how these things intersect. As a congregation, our work is to help these youth sort of process these things, to guide them through that, and as I introduce those facilitators this morning who will participate in that, that's their role, is to just sort of ask questions here and there to prompt some thinking along the way. In addition to thinking about big questions, we hope that they begin to value community and our connections with one another. So this is a big thing, and welcoming here into the sanctuary is a big part of that. We welcome you as you are, who you are, as you come, and we're grateful for your presence with us. Ultimately, the whole program is to maintain community. I mean, for me, if you've been here any length of time, you know that for me, the idea of building community is one of the important things that we do. We don't necessarily share specific beliefs about the world, the universe. We may have a lot in common, but what we do here is we build community to sustain each other in those quests, in those searches. And that's a big part of our program with Coming of Age. So this is an opportunity for our youth and maybe a few of you, although I hesitate to open it up to the larger group, but that's a possibility, to ask any questions that they may have about religion, about Unitarian Universalism, about the universe, about this congregation. So I have a microphone here that I'm willing to hand out. And I don't know if you came with any big questions. I know you came up with some big questions last year when you got together. Does anybody have any sort of questions that you want me to try to, because I can only try to answer those questions. Elliot.
Is it on?
Yeah, I think so.
Mike?
Red mic. Okay. It's on, I think.
My question.
Let's see. Yeah.
My question is why do we have religion?
Why do we have religion? We got a lot of answers out there, but piece of cake, Elliot. I think religion was slowly came into being through the evolution of ideas about why we're here. Early peoples tried to figure out what their relationship was with each other and with the world and with the creatures around them. And they came up with myths to sort of explain. Let me step back. I think one of the biggest things I think we can agree on in terms of what religion tries to answer is how do we deal with the fact that we are born, first of all, and that eventually we die? That's the big question. How do we deal with that? And then throughout the course of human history, people have come up with ideas about why we're here, what it means to be here, what it means to have a limited time, a limited existence. And so those stories and those myths developed and slowly evolved into the kind of world religions that we see in the world today. So I think that's the basic answer is we look around us, we have the ability to understand that we are in this world, we have self-awareness, and we also are aware of our own mortality. And we have to come up with some idea of why we're here if we're going to die. And so religion is an answer to that. For most of our history as a species, it's been the main answer to that. And there have been different ways that religion answers that, and thus different ways, different religions in the world, different traditions. Since the age of science, human beings have sort of leaned a little bit more towards science to help answer the questions of the universe. But it still doesn't answer those deep questions about why. So religion tries to do that. And we're no different. I think what we try to do here in Unitarian Universalism is offer individuals the freedom to explore lots of different ideas from lots of different places and sort of come to terms with our own mortality, our own existence. But we do that in the company of other people who are doing the same thing, and we honor one another's journey along that path. Did that help? Thank you. Any other questions? Jacob?
Thank you. My question is, why do we have so much war and hate in this world?
So one of the things that religion tries to do is sort of answer the question of good and evil. And where do they come from? Are they something that comes from outside of us or something that dwells within us? Does it dwell within only some people, evil or goodness, or do we all share the capacity for both good and evil? From my perspective, and my sort of self-searching, I think each one of us has the capacity for goodness and for evil. And I think one of the things that we find in the world is that when we look around us and we see that the world isn't the way we want it to be, we can get upset. And we want to make things the way we want it to be. And when you get a whole bunch of people with different perspectives about how they want it to be, then you get conflict that builds and builds. So I think the question really that you need to think about is evil or goodness something that comes from outside and that we sort of absorb it somehow, or do we each have that capacity within us? I remember a sermon that one of my mentor ministers gave about evil, and what she talked about was the fact that how we are raised as individuals makes a huge difference in how we deal with the world. If we're raised in love and kindness, if we're given opportunities to grow on our own and be our own selves, to be able to understand how to relate to other people, that's a wonderful thing. Unfortunately, that's not the way everyone in the world is raised. And so there are folks out there who have been traumatized in their youth, who have been abused in their youth, and they carry that forward in their lives. And sometimes they're able to overcome those abuses, both mentally and physically. And sometimes they need to somehow play it out in their own lives, which continues that sense of discomfort and unease in the world. So why do we have wars? I think because mostly men are stupid. and can't figure out how to talk to one another in those ways. But so Does that answer your question a little bit? Anybody else? Miguel?
So this is like more of a Unitarian question. Like, what is, what is Unitarianism, Unitarian Universalism think about like nature versus nurture, like that debate?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think, does Unitarian Universalism have a stance on nature versus nurture? I think we look to science, and we look to both the physical sciences and the social sciences. What do they tell us? Because that's what we tend to rely on. As Unitarian Universalists, we honor the wisdom of science and the learning that has gone on through the generations before us. And they have a lot to say about this. They have a lot of studies that have sort of looked at that question specifically. I think if you wanted me to answer the question, it is a combination. I know from my two sons who are at least brought up Unitarian Universalists and who say they're Unitarian Universalists, but don't go to church. They each sort of arrived in this world with a personality, with the seeds of a personality. And we watched, Ann and I watched, as those sort of characteristics played out in different ways. For me, that doesn't mean you're sort of set in your personality. Because nurturing makes so much of a difference in how people learn and grow and change. So it has to be a combination. And I think if you were asked me about Unitarian Universalism, I don't stand for Unitarian Universalism, even though I've got this thing on. But I would say that would be pretty much the answer that you would get from our tradition in terms of nature versus nurture. Anyone else? Brentley?
My question would be, does everything in the world have a purpose?
Ooh. Yes. You guys haven't come up with the hard questions yet. So, is there a grand plan for the universe? I think that's a question also that has sparked great discussions and thoughts and maybe spawned religions. Obviously, if you have a particular point of view, a point of view that is based in one of the major religions, they would sort of indicate that yes, there's a grand plan here. There is a God that is understanding of all things, though we can't understand everything. There's a plan here, and our job is to be the best we can and to try to find our way through to discovering and believing that this entity exists. And there are folks here who may have a certain worldview that aligns with, let's say, Christianity or Islam or Hinduism, Buddhism, all of which have a sense of that there's some structure to this universe. I think the scientific worldview would struggle with that perception. They would say the physical world doesn't tell us that it cares about us, that we are the meaning makers, we human beings. And I think pretty much from a sort of a traditional expression, Unitarian Universalist expression, that is what we, I think, generally, though not all, understand, is that we are the meaning makers. Human beings are as I answered Elliot's question earlier, we try to create meaning out of this existence that we have, and that's within us, our brains, our hearts, and so it's an interesting question. I think we are, as a religious tradition, are a bit different, in that we are not creedal. We talked about this last month in terms of the fact that Unitarian Universalism doesn't have a creed where you raise your hand and say, I believe in these things. We encourage everybody to explore, to find their own path, their own truth. But we, and I think that's what these big questions are about, and what we're encouraging you as coming of age youth to consider is how do you make meaning? How do you find your purpose? And the answer doesn't necessarily come to all of us, at the age of 13 or 14 or 15, and sometimes 73. But we create meaning. I think that would be how Unitarian Universalists would think about it. Any other questions from the youth? Most here, some there. Let's take a break for a moment and go through our centering hymn and our joys and sorrows, and we'll get back to this a little bit, possibly. Remain seated, and we'll share our centering hymn. You want a microphone? Oh, you got one. I don't need one. All right. That's mine? Okay. How could anyone? It's number 1053 in the Teal hymnal. We'll sing it through twice.
How could anyone ever tell you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
So we've been through another storm, and from our point of view here in Naples, we skirted the major disaster, though I know that there are folks here who are still struggling with some flooding, a lot of cleanup, access to power. We're grateful for those of the community who are out and about helping. I know Ellen was out trying to find batteries for the folks at River Park before the storm, and Vincent reports that because of their preparedness down there, everybody was able to get out, and there was a little bit of flooding, but not as much as with Ian. I know people offered each other places to be, and we're so grateful for this community and their openness and caring. And we send our thoughts and our prayers and perhaps some financial resources to those who are struggling north of us, who bore the brunt of the storm, who are still reeling from a second disaster in less than a month. Next week, we will be taking a Share the Plate collection for the Unitarian Universalist Disaster Relief Fund, so we hope you'll come prepared for that. Is Cheryl here? English? Is that correct? Am I right that we're doing that for the UU Disaster Relief Fund next week? Okay. The last Sunday. Okay. Well, we might try to expand that a little bit and add to that. This is a time for us to share with one another those things that we're carrying in our heart, a joy or a sorrow that you'd like to bring to the community. If so, please raise your hand. I'll bring you the microphone and tell us what's in your heart.
My name is Cheryl Inglis, and we fared fine with the storm, but my daughter lives in Punta Gorda, and her house was flooded the first time, lost almost everything. The second time, lost everything. Her car, She has nothing. It's a shell of a house, nothing at all.
Hi, I'm Tabitha. We did okay here, but my parents, who were thankfully on a cruise at the time, thankfully, their house was in Madeira Beach, Florida. 4 feet of water, lost the entire first floor. We went up there and took care of everything. Sewage, mud, whatever, and the house is gutted. I think they're going to be better off. My brother and his wife actually physically lost everything on the first floor. They only had a first floor house. And they were dealing with that while we were dealing with this. And luckily, their only son, my nephew, was at college, so thank goodness he wasn't present and they didn't have the school thing. But they're trying to get back, and we're trying to help them. So thanks.
Thanks for sharing.
Good morning. My name is Diane Keys. On a different note, I just want you to keep my eldest sister in your hearts. She was just diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's also in her lymph nodes. So she'll be starting chemo on the 23rd. So please keep her in your hearts. Her name is Delia. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane.
My name is David Sleeper, and I have both a joy and a sorrow. The joy is this is the first hurricane that we've experienced in which we didn't have any damage, didn't lose electricity, and we were out helping the neighbors, totally helping our neighbors. It really brings family to the neighborhood. And also, actually, this is so that sorrow, actually that joy leads to another joy. That 2 weeks ago today, Bill and I celebrated our 8th anniversary as a married couple. However, it was really our 38th anniversary. We had a 30-year engagement. Thank you. And the other joy is you guys are such a beautiful family. I'm so blessed to be a member of this congregation. Thank you.
You want to say something?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Jean Goldberg, and I guess I'm approaching this storm with a complexity of emotions. I feel just a pervasive sense of sadness because people all over the world are suffering. And actually at our home we had garage flooding. We have some kind of major cleanup outside, but we have a home to live in. And as I was hosing down the garage floor after a big mess for the second or third time this year, I thought, you can't whine about this because there are people in Bangladesh that don't even have running water. So I'm thinking about this in a global sense of climate change, and I just feel helpless and a pervasive sense of sadness. But on a local level, I feel so grateful for you people here. You've offered food and shelter, and mainly love. That love and from a caring community has just been paramount and has helped to ease maybe a little bit this pervasive sadness about the global situation. Thank you all.
So well said, Jean. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Lou Laurent. One of the things that we have encountered is our garden needs a lot of cleanup. Obviously, the storm didn't hurt anything of major consequence, but we still have an awful lot of raking and cleaning and so on. So I'm using this as an ad to get volunteers to come out on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. and help us put the garden back in order again. We'd love to have you. We have a coffee break at 10 o'clock, which is just absolutely amazing. So if you want to, come out a little later so you're closer to coffee.
Thank you, Lou. Where are we? Here.
Good morning. Vincent Keys is my name. I have an extraordinary joy because prior to the storm, I got a phone call from Senator Pasadomo, who came to River Park to deliver tons of sand for the people to protect their homes. And so I really think that saved the community a lot, because many did get maybe an inch or less of water in their homes. So I'm just extremely proud of her and this community that we live in. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Vincent.
Hi, I'm Andy Wells Bean, and about 5 minutes ago, I got a little notification on my watch. This is a joy, that both of my kids' schools will be open tomorrow.
You see, there is a God, you know? Although you may not think that, I don't know. See, it all depends on your perspective, right? Wow. Grateful for all your sharing and for the larger perspectives that have been offered here this morning. Grateful to understand that the world is complex, but when we face hardship, we often come together in solidarity. Grateful for those joys that have been spoken and all those joys and sorrows that have remained unspoken in your hearts. Please know that you are among friends and can share anytime you wish. Let's center ourselves for spoken and then silent meditation. Spirit of life and love, in this place made sacred by our gathering, we come together acknowledging both the joys and sorrows that life can hold, knowing that both are ever present and intertwined. In this place, we can engage with one another with openness and caring, ready to laugh or to be moved in deep and powerful ways that can sometimes catch us by surprise. In this sanctuary, we can risk asking important questions, reflect on possibilities, and offer one another our thoughts and dreams. In this place, we will encounter different viewpoints, hear ideas we've not yet considered, be open to change. Here we face both certainty and uncertainty, coming to terms with both the breadth of our knowledge and the limits of our understanding. And know in those moments what it is to be human. Let's share some time together in silence.
am not for me, who will be? If I am just for me, what does that make me? And if not now, then when? If not now, then when? If I am not for me, who will be? If I am just for me, what does that make me? And if not now, then when? If not now, then when?
Questions by Lisa Friedman. Why is there something instead of nothing? Why do wishes sometimes come true when spoken beneath the stars? Why, after billions of years of life on this earth, does death still sting? Why is it so hard for people to love one another? Why does my heart laugh when the first flower of spring comes? Questions rise up within our souls, born of fear and delight, sorrow and confusion. Questions live within us, shaping our choices and our search for truth.
Some of us laugh, some of us cry, some of us lay back, watch the world go by. Some of us fear, some of us hate, some of us won't wake up till it's too late. The distance between us is a mystery to us all. The difference between us is so small. There are no answers, only questions, and we're all strangers to the truth. But in my mind's eye, I have found the reason why, and I carry the burden of the proof. Why do we fight? Why do we fall? Why do we stand there, backs against the wall? And why don't we change? And why don't we try? Why don't we turn around and help the other guy? The distance between us is a mystery to us all. The difference between us is so small. There are no answers, only questions, and we're all strangers to the truth.
I want to make sure there aren't any more questions, because this is what this service is about. So if you have any more questions, let me know. And if the rest of you have any questions, you can call me and make an appointment. I think the one thing I want to stress in the couple minutes that I have here is how Unitarian Universalists try to approach this quest for understanding. And we have in our past and in our current language that expresses to the world who we are, had a phrase. We talk about the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Meaning we as individuals are free to explore and understand the world as it appears to us and to explore all the possibilities of truth out there. And certainly there are a lot of false truths flying around these days, and I know you're aware of that in terms of our political world and in terms of people speaking about the environment as well. But we don't search for truth within our tradition in a vacuum. We do that in community generally because I think we feel we are better together, that when we explore and when we discuss, we have an opportunity to share our ideas and have a little bit of bounce back, a little bit of questioning, so that we can learn and grow as we grow with other people. So that phrase, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, existed as a separate principle of the 7 principles that we held as an association for almost 45 years. This past summer, the association, together in a democratic process, has sort of restated the way that we want to express ourselves to the world. We have lifted up 7 values centered on the value of love, and I will share those with you after the service when we meet together. But that language is still in our new, that specific language, that specific phrase, free and responsible search, is still there in the language under the value of pluralism, the idea that we appreciate and feel that diverse points of view are a positive, that they're a strength of our, both within our movement and within the world at large, that diversity is a strength. But the language that talks about pluralism says we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology, and that we covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. And I think that's the attitude that we try to have, is that sense of engagement with curiosity, with caring, and with respect. We are a creedal tradition. We're not a creedal tradition, we are a covenantal tradition. And I think I shared a story a couple of weeks ago about the difference of that, and I will share that with you as well after the service. But that means we covenant with one another to engage in this search. And part of our strength as a community is that we're willing to share with one another our thoughts, our ideas, our sorrows, our joys, and move forward together as a community. I'll close with these words. I don't know exactly where they came from. They're built on our former sources. Our Unitarian Universalist principles and purposes had 2 sections to it, the 7 principles and the 6 sources. And if you were talking about how people get along with one another, those two sections of our principles and purposes came about because people couldn't necessarily agree how to put it all in one piece. People were concerned that their ideas about what's important might be left out. So instead of trying to cram it all into one statement of our principles, they actually broke it into principles and sources, so that the sources that we explore, that we have available to us in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning, are many and varied. We used to identify them specifically. We talked about the transcendent experience that many of us have had, and the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding of ourselves in the world that comes from that. We talked about the prophetic deeds of people around the world in the past and in the present that are inspiring. We talked about our Judeo-Christian heritage, how we evolved as a tradition. We talked about the value and wisdom of world religions. We talked about the idea of humanism and science and how important that is in our understanding of the world. We talked about earth-based traditions and how their experience of centering down in the earth and the rhythms of the earth is very valuable in terms of understanding how this whole thing works. That has been replaced by new language that is much more general, much less specific, that talks about inspirations, and it talks about both the sacred and the secular, but it also still talks about those transcendent experiences that we all have at some degree, large or small, that just sort of connect us to one another. That was a long preface to these closing words. If you are moved to connection by the vastness of the universe or the beauty of the smallest petal, you are welcome here. If you are inspired by the words and actions of involved people across the ages, you have a home in this place. If the teachings of the Buddha or Lao Tse bring you clarity and calm in the midst of a busy world, here is a place for you. If your Jewish or Christian roots still hold deep meaning for you, you're not alone in this place. If you understand the world through this human perspective and through the wonders of science, come and join the conversation. If awareness of the rhythms of our Mother Earth allows you to stop and breathe and find your own rhythm, your insights are important here. And if you feel the power of community lifting you and carrying you and holding you as you move through your life, here we are. To you, our coming-of-age youth, we honor the people that you are and the worlds that you will shape in the days and years to come. However or wherever you find your spiritual center of gravity, you will find your attention moving from within your heart to the needs of the larger world, from gratitude to generosity, and a greater connection with those in need of your simple yet powerful presence. So may it be. We'll take this time to share with one another our financial gifts. The offering we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place, to acknowledge this moment and this time and these people. If you're watching online, please, the information is there. Send a check or go to our website at www.uunaples.org and push the donate button. Grateful for all the gifts that we receive. The morning's offering will be gratefully received.
Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like freedom Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. One morning, death come creeping in my room. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do?
Okay, some quick reminders. After the service today, we have another fabulous forum right here at about 11:20, 11:30. This week, discussing Christian nationalism in our public schools. This is the second of a series of forums this month that are all great. Please look at the weekly news to check out the content. It's really fabulous. Next week, Sandy Parker from Sparker's Soapbox. As Lou mentioned, garden cleanup on Tuesday. Everybody is welcome. Bring your gloves. Come help in the garden. It needs a little attention after the storm. Wonderful Wednesdays returns this week with our always popular Stories from You. With the election at hand, we'll have several people sharing stories of how and when they developed their political awareness or their aspirations to exercise their vote. Arrive before 6 for Vespers, a short service before our homemade fall dinner, homemade this week. Come at 7 o'clock for the program, but if you want to come for dinner, you must contact the office to reserve your spot by Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Our UUCGN annual Oktoberfest pumpkin carving will be Saturday, October 26th. That's a couple of weeks out, but if you would, we're looking for people to help plan and prepare. Tabitha will be on the pavilion along with Cheryl Inglis, doing a little planning for that. If you want to participate in any way, stop by and see them. Tabitha and Cheryl, raise your hands so that they know who you are. All right. I think that's it. Let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, We Laugh, We Cry. We're going to sing verses 1 and 4. It's in the gray hymnal number 354. The words will be on the screen.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We do to feel there's something here to which we can belong. It and then we come together here in God's divine, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a joy being together, and in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see even to question truly is an answer.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Go in peace, go in love. Have a wonderful day.